What's up, Lou Gang? I know it's been a minute, but this video right here probably my most important video that I'm probably I've ever done. And I'm gonna say that because it's real right now. Like the tension in America is really just unbelievable at this moment, and I think it's important that we understand that we had this pandemic, and this pandemic they were comparing it to AIDS, meaning this is the first pandemic since AIDS. So I had questions. I wanted to know, like, if you catch it, is there a cure? I mean, is it something that you're gonna have for the rest of your life? Because you got to realize if someone actually like spit on you or accidentally spit or sneezed on you, you possibly catch this disease, and we don't know anything about it. And that was the scariest thing, that people was dying within 14 days of having this thing. So I just think that we had to understand that we still is real. The rates are going up higher than ever, so we got to keep that in consideration. But we can't stop grinding for what we believe in. You know what I mean? And then as soon as we thought we had a peak in that, then you had this whole George Floyd thing where he was telling a police officer that he couldn't breathe. And that was probably the saddest thing I ever seen on social media, how this dude's body just laid there and he was begging to breathe. You know what I mean? So that to me in itself was critical to a lot of the tension that's going on. However, Colin Kaepernick in 2016 attempted to have a silent protest for police brutality for something like this. He literally said, hey, look, America, that these things cannot continue to happen to Americans. Like, that is not just. So, here you had this man who decided on his platform, because understand that he's on a major platform, that if anyone can make a change, it's our athletes. So he took the opportunity to take a knee and say, hey, America, look, police brutality, the people that's getting killed, they look just like me. You know what I'm saying? They look just like me. And if you look at any of the starting fives in the NBA, or some of these star athletes in these sports, or 50% or better of some of these sporting activities that's generating all this revenue for America, they look just like these victims. So in the process of all of that, Cap tried to raise attention to this silently. He got shunned out of the NFL. You know what I mean? He literally probably would never get an opportunity to play again the sport that he loved the most. One of the most unselfish acts I've ever seen. I commend Cap for that. Like, I really do. But now you fast forward to today, and about 2 weeks ago, where I'm in my break room at work, me and one of the younger guys at work, we're looking at the rioting and the looting, and I was like, at the beginning, I was like, oh my God, look what's going on. I thought at the beginning, I have to be honest with you all, I thought the rioting and looting, I thought it was senseless. You know what I mean? I thought it may have showed some ignorance in the beginning. But now, as I sat there, along with the younger guy, and he's over there, his whole demeanor was different. He was over there like, yeah. He's watching the videos, he in this dig, and he had all this energy, all this hyped up energy, and I was like, wow. So I had to ask him, like, hey man, what's going on? Tell me, what's your thought on this video? And his thing was, look man, nobody in America gonna continue to get beat on, man. Nobody's gonna continue as American gonna continue to get hurt. He even mentioned the idea, like, back in 2016 when Colin Kaepernick took a silent protest, and that Americans couldn't get out their own selfish beliefs, get out of the way of those selfish beliefs to understand what this man was taking that knee for, that they missed the big picture. You know what I mean? And now that it's to this point, it was just so frustrating seeing those things. And that was the ideal of African Americans fighting back. Not even just African Americans, it was just people who believed in something bigger than themselves fighting back, saying this can't happen from our police officers. Police brutality can't happen at this magnitude. But now that we've got their attention, the question is, what are we going to do? How are we going to change the narrative? As black men, what are we going to do? As Americans, how are we going to respond to what's going on today for our children's sake? You know what I mean? Because it's bigger than us. I want my daughters, my sons, to have the same opportunity that I had growing up. Live in the same beautiful country that I have been exposed to. Like, I don't want this chaotic energy that we driving out here. the driving force behind it. You know what I mean? And, you know, attitude reflect leadership. And I do give, you know, a lot of negative stuff that Trump doing. It doesn't help towards America. But at the end of the day, we as Americans, we still are kind of in control of the narrative. And, you know, like I said before the video ended, I just want to share this short story with you. And pretty much it's just the ideal is me being a black man and experiencing police brutality. You know, my first time I ever got locked up, I was 29 years old. And, you know, I got to be honest, I played a part in it because I had been drinking. You know, I was intoxicated at the time that I got locked up the first time. And, you know, so I own that, and I can't deny that. Like, it still was kind of weird how it all went down, but at the end of the day, I was drinking. I have to own my part in that. You know, but the second time that I witnessed it, it was just more almost like devastating from a perspective of, you know, I was just on my way. I was living in Charlotte at the time, and I'm on my way to Wallace, North Carolina to take my son. At the time, he's probably about to turn 4 years old, a four-wheeler. You know, I had been working 12 hours at my job. You know, I'm going through a divorce. I'm just giving you the mentality at this time, my mindset, as I'm driving down this road, no sleep, on my way down 3 hours just to make sure my son get his four-wheeler for his birthday. Well, in the process of all of that, as I'm driving down, you know, the cops make a U-turn, pull up behind me. Now, any black person knows that when a police officer get behind you, the first thing you do, you put your hands on the steering wheel. You know, you 10, you 2. You know, you checking your rear view. You're doing everything that they taught you in driver's ed just because you don't want to get pulled over by the police. You know, no time do black men ever want to get pulled over by police. This is a fact, you know what I mean? We don't want that issue. However, in the process of all of that, you know what I'm saying, I'm driving normal, I get pulled over. Well, in the process of me getting pulled over, at this time, you know, like I said, you got Colin Kaepernick who's done did what he has done. You have people dying. You got all these things going on. I had a couple cousins that personally had just these negative interactions with police officers. So when a police officer came to the car, you know, I literally put my hands up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally had my hands up already when he came to the car. You know, I rolled the window down. He came up, hands up, like my hands literally, one hand on the armrest, one hand on the little post on the door, and I'm waiting. He comes to the car. I'm like, hey, officer, you know, how you doing? He said, I'm good. I was like, you want my license and registration? He's like, yeah, let me get it. Gave it to him. Boom. I kept my hands up the whole time. He come back. He says, how come ever since I pulled you over, you got your hands up? I said, well, I just wanted to show you that I'm cooperating. Because at the end of the day, I just got to go. I'm on my way. I'm trying to get somewhere. I just want to show you I'm cooperating. He says, well, with you having your hands up like that, you look guilty. You know what I'm saying? You look like you got guns and drugs in this car. I said, man, you got to be kidding me. I said, didn't you just actually run my name and everything? Didn't everything come back clean? You know, at this time, I'm working for the government. So I know my record clean. You know, even the incident I had got when I was 29 years old, it was so weird that they kind of dismissed it. So it wasn't even on my record. But in the process of it all, he like, you know, you just made us feel like you got guns and drugs in this car. So he goes back to the car. He told me to sit tight. I'm thinking he's going to get my license and everything. I'm sitting tight. 3 minutes go by, whatever, 10 minutes. You know, you have K9 and about 2 other cop cars pull up. You know, the K9 officer gets out of the car, comes to my car window, and tell me I need to get out of my car so he can search my car for guns and drugs. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. He says, no, I'm serious. You need to get out the car and allow me to search this car for guns and drugs. I'm like, man, this is unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? He says, well, I'm going to tell you like this. Either you're going to get out or you're going to get arrested. So at this point, I know that I personally don't have no guns and drugs in my car. You know, I really just want to go down the road, come on back, because I got to go to work the next day. So as I open my door, I reach down to put my shoe on. Well, in the process of me reaching down to put my shoe on, the police officer walks up to me, hey, what you doing? You get killed like that. Don't move. I'll murder you. I'm like, are you serious? Like, yes, I will murder you out here. You reaching down to your shoe, I will murder you. I said, well, look, dude, you asked me to, you know, you asked me to get out the car so that you could search my car for guns and drugs when I got pulled over and I hadn't done nothing. So now I've been working 12 hours. My foot was hurting. I had one of my shoes off. I'm just reaching down to put my shoe on. Well, you need to ask permission before you do that because that'll get you murdered. You reaching down like that will get you murdered. I'm like, are you serious? So I put my shoe on. I step outside my car. He tells me, you need to go wait on the other side of the road. I said, dude, I don't know you all. This feels shady. Why do I gotta go on the other side of the road whenever I know there's no, listen, you're gonna go on the other side of the road or we're gonna lock you up. I said, well, how do I know that you're not gonna do something weird? Because right now, listen, I'm not gonna tell you anymore. You're gonna go on the other side of the road or we're gonna lock you up. So at this point, I walk on the other side of the road. Well, in the process of me walking on the other side of the road, you know, he takes the drug dog. He walks around the vehicle twice. Dog don't bark, do anything weird. Just walks around, put the dog back in the car. Walks across the road, tell me like, look, we had a couple hits on your car. Now, you know, we got to do a deeper and thorough search because we had a couple hits and we're for certain that there's guns and drugs in your car. I said, man, you all got to be kidding me, man. I watched that. Listen, we're not here to argue with you. We're telling you what we're going to do. You might as well just sit here and be quiet. I said, well, look, it's cold out here. It's the middle of December. Do you mind if I sit in the front of the cop car while you do this? I tell you what, we can put cuffs on you and we'll put you in the back of the cop car. You can sit in there and wait like that. But as far as you sitting in the front of the cop car, hell no. I said, well, dude, listen, I'm tired of talking. Let us do our job, and then you can get out of here. But I'm sure that it's guns and drugs in this car. I said, okay, you know what? Whatever you got to do. I just want to leave. So at this point, they go over to my car, man. They ramshack my car. When I say they ramshacked it, they took everything out the glove box. You'd have thought that they've already found, like, major guns and drugs, and now they just ramshacking the car to make sure they haven't missed anything. That's how bad they destroyed the inside of my car. And after they did that, I'm talking about trunk, took my spare tire out, then put it back, everything. After they did that, and they didn't find anything, they got together, came over there and said, well, when we first pulled you over, we seen you reach down for your sock. So we got reason to believe that you've put something in your socks. So now they're making me take my shoes and my socks off in the middle of December on the cold road, take it off, just so they can see that I had nothing in my socks. And after all of that, their response to me was, well, you know, you have a nice day. So I end up out there in the middle of December, no shoes, no socks on, car ramshacked. And as I get back to my car, I'm like, the police officer that pulled me over, he comes to the window. I'm like, dude, where's my wallet at? He's like, your wallet is up under the passenger seat. I'm thinking to myself, if you knew my wallet was up under the passenger seat and you knew that's where it was in the beginning, why didn't you put it back? But on top of all of that, I asked this dude, like, man, you know, what did I do to cause all of this in the beginning when you stopped me? He says, well, when I pulled you over, you had your hands up. That made you look guilty. I said, well, what should I have done? He said, man, you should have just kept your hands on the steering wheel or something, or act normal. And I pulled away from that traffic stop feeling like I had got raped. You know, I felt like I had been violated, man. I can't explain to you all how I felt in that moment. And you know, people would tell me at that time that I should have, you know, made a report, filed a report with NAACP, you know, things like that. And it's crazy because, like I told them, I said, you know, those are things that we've always done. Now, I was refusing to go into a police station, have a conversation with another Caucasian American about one of their friends or someone that he knows is already corrupt, just for him to think to myself, like, yeah, whatever. You know, I refuse to do that. So I didn't go. That's what I'm saying about that. But on top of all of that, I'm just saying that in that moment, I understood now how black men were losing their lives in these interactions. I mean, it takes a lot of integrity to go through those situations and keep your composure and understand that, you know, at the end of the day, you know, things have to change because, you know, I'm teaching my kids that police are heroes. Like, I want them to think that police are heroes, and I want police to honor that code. You know, that's to me, that's the narrative. Like, look, you a hero. You got to act as a hero. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of times it's fear. I think, you know, black men are fearful of the police and what they're going to do. Police are fearful of black men. And everybody want to get home. It's just now that a lot of black men ain't getting home. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, you know, at the end of the day, what can I do? I'm going to pull up in a couple cities in North Carolina, a couple towns, have a meeting, create this conversation, because I think that there's things that we as a community can do. But, you know, racism, that's not the answer. You know what I'm saying? That's more like something ignorant that's stopping the progression of America. America's still great. America got a lot of opportunities for everyone. And we got to embrace that for our children's sake, you know. So until next Monday, I'm going to see you home. Lou.